If I told you a book no bigger than a piece of toast could make you more creative overnight, you'd accuse me of lying. But if you've ever wanted to put your ideas out into the world and not known how, Steal Like an Artist is probably what you've been looking for. I might have studied this book more than anyone else, so in this video I'm going to share 7 lessons anyone interested in being more creative will wish they knew sooner. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'll explain why the real magic of this book only reveals itself to those who read it more than once. In every creative field I've explored, there's this completely false belief that everybody has to be totally original, and anything less, you're a hack. The reality is that any new idea is just a mashup of one or more previous ideas. Anyone who's any good at anything in the creative world knows the truth of this, and Austin has done a really good job of curating a whole bunch of quotes from different artists that are sharing the same sentiment. And probably my favourite is this one from William Ralph Inge. What is originality? Undetected plagiarism. Oh, so good. But when you realise there really is nothing new under the sun and that everybody is building on everybody else's ideas, it's actually quite freeing. Take ideas or pieces of ideas that you love and put them together in a new context. Draw from a whole bunch of sources, give credit, and add something that's yours. If you're a YouTube creator, Bruno K has got a really great video on how you can steal like an artist to make better videos. I'll link his stuff in the description below. Go and check it out and let him know that I sent you. Now, if you're new to a creative field, you might be thinking, well, I actually don't even know who to steal from yet. Lesson number 2 is to build your own creative family tree. Whatever the discipline, chances are you've been inspired by someone. So start there. Find out everything you can about them. Watch, read, listen to everything that is out there on the internet. Try and get under the skin of their creative process, why they've made certain creative decisions. Once you've done that, find 3 people that inspire them and repeat the process. In no time, you'll have built a family tree of creative inspirations and you'll have thousands of ideas to steal. One incredible platform I've started using to apply this lesson in practice is Shortform. If you haven't come across the platform yet, they make the world's best guides to non-fiction books. They're kind of like book summaries on steroids, and they've got a really good one for Steal Like an Artist. And summaries are awesome, but the real value that I get from Shortform is the added insights they provide. So if there's another author with a complementary or a contradictory point of view, then they'll include that as part of the summary. But what's been really cool for me is that some of the authors I've been introduced to through Shortform have ended up being added to my creative family tree. So it's a really efficient way of building that out over time. So if you're like me and you're interested in learning new ideas faster and at a super deep level, I really would recommend checking out Shortform. They cover a bunch of genres from productivity to self-improvement. If you use the link in the description below, you'll get a free trial and a 20% discount off an annual subscription. So basically, you'll get access to thousands of summaries for about the cost of a book a month. And I'll receive a commission too. So it's a really nice way of supporting the channel. As you start to consume more and more creative work that you love, you will begin to spot millions of ideas that you could steal. Could be a cool shot or a cut, maybe it's a turn of phrase, use of colour, or an emotional music choice. Whatever it is, unless you capture it then and there, I guarantee you will forget it. So somehow you've got to keep track of your thefts. Now, if you want to make great YouTube videos, this is super easy. You just create a playlist of inspiration. But if you're like me, then you'll have tons of different interests. So I've got a few different ways of keeping track of my ideas. If I read, watch, or experience something that gives me an idea for a video, then I will immediately create a Notion card and I will link the original source inside it. If something gives me inspiration for a magic trick, or maybe even the hook of a magic trick, I'll write the inspiration down in a notepad, and I've also got a space in Notion which is just called Ideas Dump, and sometimes I put things in there too. If I read something in a book that I found really interesting, then I will add a sticky tab to it, and if it's in short form, it's pretty easy, you just highlight the text. And then every couple of months, I just try and make sense of all of this mess. Now, 100% there is a better and more efficient way of managing this process, but I really like it because it forces me to engage with the ideas again and to make some choices about what I'm actually going to do with them in practice. But one really big takeaway I took from the book was to always carry a notepad with me, and not for the obvious reasons you might assume. Austin makes this really great point that when you're capturing ideas digitally, it's so easy to self-edit and just delete stuff that sounds like rubbish. But somehow, when you literally write something down on a piece of paper, it's just a bit harder to do that. I've noticed since carrying a notepad, I am capturing way more ideas. Now, not all of them are good, but enough of them are. So the benefits far outweigh the costs or the minor inconvenience of remembering to carry it around with me. I know lots of people who want to pursue a creative career or hobby, but just don't feel like they've got the time to do it. One antidote the book offers is to enjoy your captivity. If you're stuck at the barber's for an hour, work on your stuff. If you've got a long car journey, dictate your ideas to your phone. And if you've got a 5-day hiking trip in the French Alps with your friend Yo and Owen right after one of your videos blows up, then work on the script for the next one on the plane. The point is, we all have moments where we're literally trapped. Moments where historically we might have felt frustrated or bored. The trick is to embrace those moments. Reframe them as time to invest in your creative passions. And if you're currently trapped somewhere with nothing better to do, here's a joyful video of my dog Larry to help you pass the time. He's my biggest fan and would love it if you supported me by subscribing to the channel. Subscribe for Larry. Undoubtedly, one of the secrets to creative success is just sticking at it, being consistent over time. It sounds simplistic, but if you try and improve as you go, before you know it, you'll have made significant progress, and you might even have had a small taste of success. Being consistent requires you to figure out when you're going to do the work. Literally, when in your week are you going to find time to make it happen? If you've got a busy job, is it something you're going to do really early in the morning? Is it something you'll do on your lunch break? If you've got kids, is it something you'll do once they've gone to sleep? It's not going to be easy, and sometimes it's not going to be fun either. But if it's important enough, then it is something that needs to be figured out. Whatever the habit is, as soon as you've established it, the trick is to not break the streak. Whatever it takes, do your very best. In my own experience, as soon as I start making excuses, then it becomes much easier next time to shirk doing the work. Austin shares this really great technique from Jerry Seinfeld that he uses to keep his joke writing streak going. He has this massive wall calendar with every single day of the year marked out, and all he's got to do is put an X in every single day to indicate that he has written a joke. Well, I'm doing something similar with stories at the moment. I'm trying to note down a story-worthy moment from every single day of the year. I've blurred them out because some of them are super personal, but just by not breaking the streak, I found hundreds of moments of inspiration that one day I might turn into a story or a video. With any creative endeavor, at some point, you've actually got to put your stuff out there into the world, because if you don't, you won't get feedback, and feedback is the essential ingredient for getting better. But the process is pretty simple. Just wonder at something, and then invite other people to wonder with you. And the internet and social media makes it really easy to do this. Lots of people are so eager to get discovered, and Austin has this great line that you should enjoy your obscurity while it lasts. You will be bad to begin with, so use this time to learn and experiment. Do things just for fun, no pressure, and as you get better, people will start to find you. I think my YouTube channel is a good example of this. At the moment, I think my videos are still objectively quite bad. It's not false humility on my part. I think I've got good ideas and I feel motivated to share them, but at the moment I can't create what's in my head. But I can say I'm getting better. I'm wondering at stuff, I'm inviting other people to wonder with me, and then in the shadows, I'm improving. And it's kind of working. My first video still has less than 50 views, and the most recent one has more than 16,000. Which brings me on to my last lesson: keep a logbook of your progress. In the last 15 years of performing magic, I've tried to record as many shows as possible. And when I look back, it's just amazing to see how much improvement I've made, and that is an incredible motivator. YouTube's got a built-in logbook, so whenever I want to look back at my previous videos, I can do that and see that I'm moving forward. Whatever the creative endeavor you're pursuing, I really encourage you to do the same. It could be a scrapbook, could be a journal, could be a photo album, could be a Google Drive full of ideas. Whatever it is, I promise, if now and again you take a brief moment to just look behind you in the rearview mirror, you will feel so utterly proud of yourself. So I said at the beginning of the video that the real magic of this book comes from reading it more than once. In so few pages, it covers so many bases. If you need a quote to kick you in the ass and reignite your creativity, you will find one. If you're looking to improve your creative process, you will find suggestions. If you need sensible career advice from a credible source, you'll find that too. But the thing I love most about this book is that it's just such a perfect example of what a piece of creative work can look like when all the fat is trimmed away. It's unapologetic, it's opinionated, it's rough, it's smooth, it's honest, but it's respectful. If ever there was a man who was willing to eat his own dog food, it was Austin Kleon. And if by some chance he watches this, well, this is my public fan letter to you, submitted with apologies a decade late. If you're interested in being more creative, I'm almost certain you're also interested in getting better at your chosen discipline as quickly as possible. In my last video, I covered everything that science has to say on the subject of getting better at anything. And if it sounds like that might be helpful, then you should go and check it out up there. Catch you in the next one.